Monday. It is June the 17th, and I tried to do my hair today. This is not my natural hair, so I tried to go for the tight curls, but I don't know. I'm still forming an opinion about if I like it or not. But anyway, I had also finished The Curse of Misty Wayfair yesterday. So I'm going to spend some time talking to you about that book. So this book, I did go into it not really knowing much about the book. So how the premise of the book is, it's dual timeline, which when I went into the book, I had no clue it was dual timeline. So halfway, when it finally revealed that it was, I was very confused. Let's just say that. I should have read the synopsis, but I didn't. So anyway, it is dual timeline. You follow one timeline with Thea Reid, and she works as a post-mortem photographer, which is creepy in itself, at least for me. That line of work, it's just very eerie. But that's what she does, and she gains access to this mental asylum, and she finds out about the curse of Misty Wayfair. A century later, you meet Heidi, who is visiting her mom who's battling dementia, and she catches sight of a ghostly figure who haunts the asylum that is in the woods. And so the story kind of goes between those two characters. So I heard this on audio, and right from the bat, I felt like it was a little creepy. Some of the parts, especially when we get to the asylum part, it just felt very eerie. And there was a part where a poem was being read by one of the patients, and I was like, okay, I'm okay, but the author writes very well. I'm just gonna say that, because she does pull you into this atmosphere. I've had moments where my heart was racing a little bit, and it definitely has that mysterious vibe. And I would say that if that is more your thing, then I think you would really love this book. Overall, because I didn't realize it was dual timeline, I was confused in the beginning, especially when it talked about the family tree and everything, like who was related to who, and all these names were getting thrown in. So I was definitely confused, but then it wrapped up in the end, and I was like, okay, I think I got everything. Definitely a very intriguing book. A very sad book too, just because of you're getting these talks about these mental asylums back, especially in the day, and how some of the patients were treated, and how these experimentations and all that. And it's very, it's a very sad thing to kind of look at and read about. And so it does talk a lot about like mental health then versus now, and there is some faith content in here. So I am very curious about more of Jamie Jo Wright's writing. If you are looking for a mystery suspense book, I would recommend this one. I would say that this was a very engaging and atmospheric read, and the audio definitely would put you in that atmosphere. So yeah, okay. So I did say it was Christian fiction, so I would give this maybe a 2 for Christian fiction, and that's just because you have characters who are strong in like their faith. I am leaning also to give this book a rating of a 4, and I would recommend it. That is the book, and the next read is going to be In This Moment by Gabriel Meyer. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm going to fly through this book. So you will probably get the synopsis in this video. And yeah, so I already know like a little bit about it, but I'm trying not to like read the back. But yeah, I just can't wait to dive into this. So I'm going to read that later. And before I go, I got a book in mail today, and I actually ordered it because I had a gift card. So I got The Captive Maiden by Melanie Dickerson. And this is great because it's on my list for the readathon that's happening in July that I'm going to participate in. So yay, that's a Cinderella retelling, and I just can't wait to dive into that world again. So I'm gonna go finish my laundry, and then by that time my husband should be home and we are going to a tutoring session. I will see you guys in the next clip. Good morning. It is Tuesday, June the 18th, and I did not get a chance to pop in last night. Sorry about that. A very tiring day, but that's okay. Not much happened last night anyway. We went out to IHOP, which we love IHOP a lot. So you probably saw like a little picture of that. I am done with my chapter in the habits of the household, and so I currently finished this one, which was family devotions. That was a good chapter, just talking about doing at least something with your kiddos. So it doesn't have to be this long, elaborate, like family devotion thing where we're gonna get so much spiritual growth, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. It could just be something that you do consistently. So it has other things and even resources to help, like I said, with that he does at the end of each chapter, for like things that you can look at to use in your own family. So the next section is chapter 6, and that is marriage, which is this little icon right here. So I can't wait to see what he has to say about that. It doesn't look super long. I'm very curious and can't wait to get into that. Today I'm still editing my vlog from the previous week, and hopefully I can get that done tonight or tomorrow, and that's just going to be me working mostly this morning. That's what I have planned. I'm not sure what this evening will look like, but I will just take you along for the day. I will see you guys in another clip. Good morning, book friends. It's Wednesday, June the 19th. It is the day I am going to the dentist. So that's actually going to happen within the hour. It's almost 9. Well, it's 9 o'clock, so we will be leaving shortly for that. But yes, I have a dentist appointment today. But before we go, I'm going to update you real quick about the passage or the chapter that I read this morning, and that is the chapter marriage. Yes, marriage. And so I did complete that. Really good chapter. I liked that it talks about how as parents, you're sometimes when you're focusing about raising, your children, you get lost in your relationship with each other, and how it's just so easy for you to take on the role of like mother or father, and always focusing on your kids, which is great, but then you kind of lose yourself, and your relationship with each other kind of gets put on the back burner because of other responsibilities that do pop up a lot. And so in that chapter, it talks about how marriage in itself is the story of creation, is the story of life, essentially. We begin with the marriage and we're going to end with the marriage. And he kind of goes into scripture about that, and how marriage is an important part. And a lot of it has to do with how we even interact with our actions within the household, and what the kids observe even between their parents. Like, is it a loving relationship? How do they handle conflict? And what should a good marriage look like? And when you have conflicts, how do you handle that, even if, like, understanding that there's no perfect marriage, but how do you apologize, and how do you get back up? How do you fight for your marriage? And so there are practical tips in there about, like, even, reconnecting. He does say that having a set day as date night for just the two of you to reconnect, or even to do like a check-in, but intentionally have that date night, could even like help and be impactful in your marriage, in your household. And it really spoke to me, and something that I would like to even implement. So there's a lot of things I would like to implement, as you can see, from all the chapters that I have been reading, and still enjoying it, still loving it. But that was a good read. And now we're going to go into the next chapter, which talks about work. So we'll see how that one also goes. But just wanted to check in with you on that. And we have our evening open. So my husband is going to do a yard at one of the church members' house. She currently lives on her own and needs someone to come and help with yard work. So I will accompany him with that. I might actually help out with trimming hedges, which that is something that I enjoy doing at our own home. And so she has a big yard, so that could also be something I could help my husband with. So I will see you guys later on. Okay, hi book friends. We're back from the dentist, and it was an okay time. We haven't been in a while, but they did some work, and I just told them do the work today so that way you don't have to come back another time. So yep, back at home, and I am editing a video, so hopefully that'll come up today, and then I can get started on reading the next book, which is In This Moment, because I really want to get into that. So just wanted to check in with you. It is Thursday, June the 20th, and today technically is the first day of summer. So happy first day of summer. I am wearing my little seashell inspired, like shell inspired earrings. My mom got these for me in Mexico. I'm feeling very summery today. Yesterday I showed that we were doing yard work. My husband is doing like yard work on the side kind of in the summer, and I went to help him with this particular yard. It had been really overgrown, and I was helping with trimming the hedges until I found that there were hornets in some of them and I quit. So I ended up being like the person who raked and used the blower. And the thing is that thankfully I haven't experience the sting, and I hope to never. But yeah, I don't like hornets. That's big no. Anyway, after that, it was later, but we just kind of got home and just zonked out. But anyway, with that being said, you also saw that I went to the dentist and I had a cavity, a small one, but honestly, I am very thankful that I have, I guess, good genetics, because it had been a while going to the dentist since 2020. It was just, we're like, we didn't really have, most offices weren't really open, and so just scheduling it with our time schedule, with our work schedule, and then just insurance and all of that, it had been a while. But they were just saying, you just had a filling that was chipped, and we just need to clean out in there, and that's it. So I actually have pretty good genetics, I think. Like, my teeth could have been really bad and they weren't. So anyway, we just knocked that out, and my mouth was sore yesterday. I definitely do clench my jaw when there's lots of tension. So even though it didn't hurt, just the fact of, like, how they put the block in your mouth so you're not like clamping down, just the amount of tension that I did have really kind of had my mouth sore. But it was done, and hopefully, and we have the 6 months scheduled, so it should be good. Anyway, I just wanted to mention about the dentist appointment. And yeah, so my husband has to go back because unfortunately it could have been worse, but he's got to get some dental work done. So that's rescheduled later in July. But anyway, I didn't read anything yesterday. I was video editing. You saw that, I'm sure, in the clips where you saw where I was editing the video. It was a very, very long one. And then I tried to get them under an hour for you guys, but this one I just had to say, okay, that's enough staring at it and trying to get it down. That's rendering right now as speaking. So hopefully that will come up this evening, and then I can take some time just reading today, and hopefully I'm trying to get that book done before I have to put up this video. So the plan is to read today and finish the pictures. We have pictures that I wanted to sort out, and they're my family's pictures, and so I just want to sort them out, get them situated and in the right albums and stuff. So they were all just kind of in a box, and they've kind of been like that since my parents' divorce, and so it's just kind of going through them and kind of can get emotional. So it's just been on the dining room table that I just have to like sort through. So that's also on the agenda. And then later today we're gonna have to finish the yard we were working at yesterday, because it was just so much to do in like the time frame we were there. So we're gonna go back this evening, and yeah, that's kind of the day. So I'm gonna try to read a chapter of this before I pick up my other book, so that way I'm on top of this as well, and then I can switch on to the other book. I will see you guys in another segment. it is about 2 hours later, roughly. But I finished sorting all the pictures and putting them in the albums, and they're also in piles. So, yeah, I'm exhausted, but I am glad that I did this. I'm gonna leave them out on my table, and that way, those other pictures that aren't put away yet but are in piles will just have easier, um, like it would be easier for me to get them where they need to go and put them in other albums and stuff. So yeah, I am very happy though that it's completed. And then now I'm going to be reading in this moment. Um, not that far in, but I'm hoping to get a good chunk of it read. And yeah, so it will almost be lunchtime. So I'm just going to read as much as I can until my husband gets home, and then we'll just have lunch. All right, I'm going to go back to reading. Okay, so it is almost 4 in the afternoon, and I forgot to update you on this book. I finished my chapter for the day, which is work, and I really, really enjoyed that one. I highlighted a lot here. It just made me think of work differently. Let me see. I wanted to read something that was very impactful. Okay, so basically, it's talking about how work is in the story of God. We're invited into the work of the God who loves us. And so I highlighted this part, and it says, we were meant for, work, and the sentence says, which is why our work inevitably becomes one of our greatest blessings or one of our greatest burdens. That's how spiritually important work is. When we reduce work to a means of income, we take the spiritual dignity out of it, and that will always end up robbing us of some dignity too. This is true whether we're in a season of fulfilling work, hard work, or even no work. How we deal with those blessings or burdens will always be central to our spirituality. If work is really that spiritually important, then forming our children in a deep understanding that God created us to work alongside Him and to take pleasure in that work is paramount to raising a child. And of course, I kind of skipped through the paragraph, but like that was so impactful to think about work in a deeper sense, not just, because we needed we need money obviously to like pay for cars, mortgages, um, any debt. But the fact is that if you kind of look at it as a spiritual approach, it makes work, I think, just more fulfilling, and of course there are hard moments and everything, but like I've definitely felt that with this job. I have had taught at 2 separate schools before I ended up at this school. Been teaching for a while, and I have probably felt the most fulfilled, or like the most, I'm here for a reason. It did start with an attitude change, I believe. Not saying that my other 2 schools prior to this one, I wasn't not giving my all, because I was, but there was just a shift, I think, in my mentality with seeing it more on a deeper level. And I think it really translated even into the classroom, into the relationships. And I think that it was just a overall like better year. Like I felt like the best moments of my teaching, I guess. And so yeah, I really liked seeing that, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit more. And right now my husband is teaching and is kind of going through the thick of it, but I read some of this and even encouraged him again to pick up this book hopefully soon, so he can just, I don't know, get more of that encouragement, and I think it'll really help in all that. So yeah, really good chapter, really good section, even how to incorporate like talking with your kids about the jobs that you do, or you show the value of work, even if you're not like employed in your season of life, and points out the importance of even working looks like in the house, like those who are stay-at-home parents or chores, like that's all like work, just the importance of work but also rest, like that balance too. So the next section is play, which is this little baseball. And I'm actually really close to the end. I have 2 more sections after play and then the epilogue. And so it being Thursday right now, I think what I'm going to do is, just because I'm just so close and I'm very much enjoying this book and kind of wanting to go back to it, I think I'm going to try to prioritize finishing this one. And that way I have a book done for you in this vlog, but once I'm done with that, then I'm going to read more of In This Moment. So I am still in the beginning pages of In This Moment. I think I'm around page 30-ish, and it is like a slower going start for me. Not saying it's not a good book, it's just I don't think I'm in the mood just now for it, which is surprising me because I really thought that this is one of the books that I was very like wanting to get into and read, but I just find that I'm wanting to pick this one up a little bit more. So I am enjoying the In This Moment book though, but I just don't want to read it to where I'm just not super stressed on time. I guess it feels like I'm stressed on time, but I just don't feel like in the mood today to pick it up. And I think that's just because of all like the organizing and sorting that I did with the pictures and just cleaning the house and really like devouring this too. So I'm gonna finish this and then I'll get like back into the In the Moment book, into the other book. So that one may be finished in the next vlog, unfortunately, but that's okay. We are gonna get ice cream. I love ice cream. Ice cream is one of my favorite things to eat in the summer, also oddly enough in the winter. I will talk to you in another segment. Good morning. It is Friday, June 21st. This morning I got up to read another chapter in this, but I did read 2 chapters. I don't know if I spoke of work or was it play? I think it was play. Yes. I haven't spoke of play yet, which is this little icon right here, which it's a little baseball. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick update on that one. And then I finished reading the next one this morning, which is Conversation. So let's start with play. Essentially, the importance of play helps us as parents to teach our children that play is also an important part of life. And a lot of times when we get older, we dismiss the idea of play because we're always working, we have responsibilities, and we don't take the time to rest sometimes. And how he described play looks different when we get older, but it could be in the form of a hobby or just rest, like for the Sabbath, taking that time of rest from work. And so how that's even biblical as well. And using our imaginations, essentially he parallels that with like the story of God. Not saying that it's fake or anything, it's just saying that we were made for a kingdom that is coming, and a lot of the themes that we see in other books and other fairy tales, there's always like the good would prevail and they live happily ever after. And so again, he's not saying that the Bible is fake or anything like that, but he's saying is that a lot of the themes that we see in stories nowadays, or things that we make up in our imaginations, like usually good versus evil and good winning, kind of reminds us that of the story with God. So interesting way to look at it. And I enjoyed it, seeing just reading that. And the next section is about conversation, and that one talks about with how at the beginning of creation, even with Adam and Eve, like conversation was a big deal. And he says the first time we get a sense of like conversation, unfortunately, happened after the fall, when God walked through the Garden in Eden calling out for Adam and Eve. And I guess it's like an alluded to him regularly coming to see them. It says in the cool of the evening he was walking through the garden. So kind of insinuates that he had visited Adam and Eve before. This wasn't just out of the blue, and yet Adam and Eve, they hid. And then you kind of get the rest of the story about the fall and all of that. So he points out in the book that a lot of times by us being vulnerable with our kids gives them a safe space to be vulnerable with us. The times we pursue conversation with them helps them feel loved and special, and then they pursue it back. And creating those special moments where you may take a kid out for a special day. It's just between you and your kid, and just talking with them, asking questions. And he gives like some questions to start off with, and and then really stress the importance of even having friends of our own as adults, and modeling what friendships look like in conversation. Using the opportunities like car rides to engage in conversation, or working together side by side to complete a task or to do a hobby. So I really enjoy that. A lot of my great fondest memories are sitting around the table with my siblings, and we just retell stories and just laugh. And we know the stories like the back of our hand. We can quote movies usually, and my brothers are really funny storytellers, and I think that's a gift that they have because of times of conversations with each other. And so really great chapter. And I have one more chapter to go through, which is bedtime, and then I think there's an epilogue, and then I'm done with the book. So I will be completing this book in this vlog. So I will read this later today when I have an opportunity. I'm still dealing with the pictures. I have them in piles. I'm still working through how I want to even distribute them, and work in the albums. So hopefully that'll be done, because my husband wants the table back, and I can't blame him. Like, I would like my dining room table back too, but that's going to be the focus of the day. And then I need to do housework, laundry, and just cleaning up around. And so, but I am excited for this evening because my husband and I have a date night coming up. This is a unique date night because we're going to use this as our guide. So this is the Adventure Challenge Couples Edition. Not sponsored, but this was given to me by my sister. And so if you're not familiar with the Adventure Challenge, they look like these. And they are scratch offs, and each scratch off, like this one, has little icons, and the icons mean different things, and you don't know what's behind these scratch offs, but it'll tell you like if it costs something. So it says free, or it has a dollar amount. This says like time that would be great to do the event. So this is before 6, and then how long date night would typically last. So that's 2 to 3 hours. And then you kind of write a little summary or like your feelings about whatever is when you do complete the challenge, and then you just put your photo there. So let me see. Like, okay, so I'm going to show this one. So this one is my husband and I baking a pie. And so when we scratch this off, it basically says to make the pie together. And one is going to be blindfolded, which in the picture was me. And the other one had to give directions as we were making the pie. This was one of the first ones we did, and this was like years ago, but definitely when I wrote about it, we were so stressed out about doing it. I think my husband was very stressed out about like doing this one, but you know, we learned to communicate differently, and it ended up being a good pie. And I said next time my husband's gonna get blindfolded. So that was just a picture that we took. And this one down here was a fort. And so this one just said we were going to do like s'mores, and we gathered all the blankets and pillows. We made a fort on our couch and we watched a movie. And so it was a romantic movie. So yeah, so we have other ones, and they're all different. And the idea for the adventure challenge is the only rule is that once you scratch it off, you have to do it. And this is supposed to get you outside of your comfort zones, just to kind of rediscover each other in a different way than you normally would. So that's the best I can describe it. So we scratched off one. So that's the one we're going to do today. And essentially, we are going to have to dress up like high school stereotypes. So like a jock, a nerd, goth, or whatever. And what we would need to do after we dress up, we will take a blanket and spread it out at a football field, a high school football field. Now, they're gated now, so we'll probably, if we can't find anything, maybe a practice field or a track field or something that's kind of open to the public. And it says that we would need to eat food that reminds us of high school and talk about our most embarrassing high school moments or some of our favorite high school moments. And so we were actually high school sweethearts, so a lot of these moments are going to bring up the past and, you know, just talk about it. And it's supposed to happen after dark, but we agreed sunset would be great because I don't want to be outside after dark. We're kind of tweaking it a little bit, but yeah, that's gonna happen tonight. Maybe I'll put some pictures of how we are gonna dress up and everything. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing us doing this from time to time, I might do that through the summer. So that's the day and how it kind of looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with house stuff, and I will catch you guys in another segment. Good morning. It is June the 22nd, Saturday. So this is the last day for the vlog, and I had finished Habits of the Household. It was such an engaging read. I very much well enjoyed it. Yeah, I highlighted something here that says, in the final analysis, it is neither us nor our habits that form our children, it's Jesus's grace. He is the one who walks with them through their best and their worst days, just like he has done for us. That's a big relief for us parents. And yet Jesus uses us, and he uses our habits too. He uses who we are to form who our children will be. And that's not a burden, that's a blessing, because it means our actions matter. We don't have to bear the weight of being finally responsible for who our children are, but we can carry the joy that what we do has meaning. It is not lost, and God will make use of it. And I thought that that was very encouraging. And I don't know, it's kind of like a call to action. And I really highly recommend this book. If nonfiction's not really your thing, maybe they have an audio, or I would just recommend, reading it like in segments. But, I think this is something worth looking into, especially if you've been wanting to get better habits, I guess, or just are struggling with certain areas in life. If you probably don't see the value in your job right now, this brought in some nice insight. It may seem like a little cheesy in some areas, but I feel that the heart behind it, or just like some of the ideas that he does give, can spur on like other ideas. Anyway, 5-star read. Definitely thinking about like gifting these books to like my siblings that are parents right now. I think he has written other works. I might look into those. I'm going to continue on in this moment. Very excited to get back into it. Last night, I'm sure you saw our little date night, so I also need to update the book, put the picture on there and write a little bit about it. And today is more house cleaning. I'm hoping to get in the Hobbit part, the second Hobbit movie in. That would be our relaxation time. But yeah, so I will be cleaning for most of the day, and maybe we'll have a sibling hangout at my house this evening. But for the most part, I think this wraps up my vlog, and I'll start editing and get this up to you soon. So anyway, I'm hoping you guys are enjoying these vlogs. I hope that you get to see a little bit more into my life, and that you're enjoying the book content. Next vlog, I will be rolling for my July TBR. So I'm going to try to get as many books on the, what's it called, readathon on my TBR, but we'll see. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in vlog number 5. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.